It seems these days that everyone in politics is apparently either a socialist, a communist, or a fascist. If you go by how broadly some people use the words in everyday political debate, you qualify as a socialist, communist, or fascist if you support universal health care, oppose universal health care, want to raise taxes, want to lower taxes, want to further regulate companies to protect the environment, want to reduce regulations to make companies more competitive, want to invade Poland, or want to build your capital in Moscow. Wait, scratch those last two. So what do these terms really mean? To start with, socialism is the belief that everything which can be used to produce something, like a factory or farm, should be owned by either the workers making the products or by society as a whole. This would even include places like stores and restaurants, pretty much anything that produces wealth. Then the economy will, in theory, be structured to serve the needs of the people. How will socialism come about? Different kinds of socialists have different opinions. Some believe that this can be accomplished through a market system. Some believe it would require complete state control of the economy. Some believe it will evolve naturally from democracy, while others believe it will require a violent revolution. A small segment of socialists, on the other hand, believe in the skillful use of reverse psychology. The ultimate goal of socialism is social equality and the distribution of wealth based on contribution to society. Different people might disagree about how to calculate someone's contribution to society, though we can probably all agree that reality TV show stars would probably lose out. Communism is a very similar political movement born from a lot of the same circumstances, and many communists believe socialism comes as an intermediate step between capitalism and communism. Communists are usually considered to be more militant and aggressive than socialists, though this is not always the case. Generally, communism is different from socialism in that communists believe in the complete end of private property rather than just collective ownership of wealth. It may seem like a small distinction, but there's a pretty big difference between having everyone own all the factories and having everyone own all the houses, though it could lead to all kinds of wacky house guests and adventures. In theory, there's an exception for personal items of property like clothes and such, because, come on, that would be crazy. Communists also believe that eventually society can be shaped so that there are no classes of people, rather than the socialist position, which is that those differences can be minimized. Eventually, communism claims that the state will disappear, although that has never actually happened in a communist country. Quite the opposite, in fact. Basically, every communist country that has existed has had a state-run economy and has only allowed one political party. Where some socialists believe that change can come about peacefully and even democratically, communists generally believe that there is no peaceful way to create the better society without the workers overthrowing capitalism. To be fair, revolutions are just more fun. This seems like a good time to mention that Karl Marx, the father of communism, used to sell his pants to buy cigars. There are specific policies socialists and communists have supported in the past, like having the rich pay higher taxes than the poor or having government-provided old age and disability support. These aren't necessarily core policies of socialism or communism, except to the extent that they move the nation towards public ownership of all wealth. Plus, it would be kind of awkward if they were socialist or communist, since the US has all of those things. And now on to fascism. Fascism is the belief in a nation that is the basic unit of society formed out of a single race. This was all bogus science that slapped a label onto whatever group you decided was your race and then claimed it was superior to everyone else. Racism is pretty much at the heart of fascism because fascists believed in eugenics. Eugenics is the idea that some races and peoples are genetically superior to others and that a race or nation can be improved by breeding people for better genetics, much in the same way you would breed dogs or horses. So fascists wanted to purify their nations by encouraging good races to breed, and getting rid of the bad races by keeping them from having children, kicking them out, or other means. Not only were certain races on the list, like black people, Jews, and Eastern Europeans, but you would also be in trouble if you were gay or handicapped. Aside from the racism, fascists also believed that their nation should be the center of everyone's life, so a lot of effort was put into glorifying the nation through education and public rituals. Fascists believed that their country should expand and take over the territory of other, lesser nations, removing their weak races from the picture. So fascists started a lot of wars. You might have heard of this. Inside a fascist state, everything is organized with the purpose of furthering the nation's goals. So the state controls the economy and most of people's everyday lives, which are all organized to support the state. So there are some similarities between the goals and methods of fascist and communist countries, even though fascists and communists hate each other. Not the way most people use the word, but a slightly more serious kind of hate. As you can see by now, a lot of people who are called one of these things don't really qualify based on the actual definition of the word. Something to think about the next time you argue with someone about politics. And there you have it.